The Polish countryside is a scenic patchwork of hills and valleys, small family farms, and the people who work the land. With less than 1% of Poland's environment protected by federal laws, the stewardship of Poland's ecology has been in the hands of its farming community. Even throughout 50 years of communist rule, bureaucrats were unable to break the spirit of the Polish farmer.
During the communism, the problem was that they want to introduce big communistic cooperatives. And Poland was the only country who survived, and Polish farmers didn't want to go cooperative.
Jadwiga Lopata owns a small organic farm near Krakow. As co-director of the International Coalition to Protect the Polish Countryside, the ICPPC, she is campaigning to protect the livelihoods of more than 2 million farmers and their traditional way of life.
Everything which is to do with the rurality, which is being rural, being a community in rural areas, is lost. In most of Europe, that has gone. But what you see in Poland is a genuine peasant farming tradition. That's an extremely interesting experiment that Jadwiga Lopata has introduced. By introducing ecotourism onto organic farms, she's made people aware of what's going on.
In 1993, Lopata was a founder of the European Center for Ecological Agriculture and Tourism, ECAT. She has created a network of eco-farms where vacationers can learn about the environmental and health benefits of food grown without chemicals.
We have 130 farms, which are organic farms, so they can host visitors. This is so-called EcoTourism farms of ECAT, Poland.
What makes Jadwiga's model so unique is that it doesn't just look at sustainable agriculture, but it looks at ways to help farmers sustain that. So by introducing ecotourism, they actually have additional income that allows their farms to stay afloat and also to make the transition to organic agriculture.
We started in '93 with 15 farms on South Poland, and we had 400 visitors. And then as year 2001, we have more than 100 farms and more than 5,000 visitors.
To European consumers, the organic label makes a difference. After outbreaks of disease, including mad cow, Europeans are questioning the negative impact to public health of large-scale and chemically intensive agriculture.
After when communism failed and the border was open and there was a lot of food coming from EU countries and there was a very beautiful package and Polish people, jump on this and try to buy this food a lot of, but then they find out that inside is completely untasty food. And that's how they try and they came back to Polish quality food.
As Poland negotiates its entry into the European Union, another threat to family farms is looming. EU member nations receive subsidies that encourage large factory-style agriculture, leaving little room for the small farmer.
The win-win situation would be one where they recognize that's an intolerable situation and they adapt their regulations to make it possible to keep the small farm, and that the money that comes in the form of subsidies goes to support social and environmental benefits rather than the production of cheap food.
In 2000, Lopata and Julian Rose established the ICPPC. Their charter for the 21st century calls for protecting Poland's ecological and cultural diversity.
ICPPC is really focused on sharing that model internationally and using Poland as a showcase of how organic agriculture can work hand in hand with ecotourism.
The coalition's concerns are beginning to resonate across Europe.
We already have like 460 different Polish and international organizations which signed this charter and support us on this fighting, and this is more than 30 million people behind, so it's a strong support.
Lopata views the EU threat as a kind of opportunity, a chance to show the rest of Europe that in Poland, the balance of nature is still intact.
The farmer has to have contact with the soil. The farmer has to have contact with animals. And you can't have this when you have 1,000 and 1,000 hectares and using big machine which you never touch the soil and you never smell the soil. So it's not farmer anymore.
As her international campaign gains momentum, she is the first to remind you that her feet remain firmly rooted in the traditions of her homeland.
I spend quite a lot of time in the city because of my work, and I have to connect with different people. But when I'm back to the countryside, I feel really home.
For outstanding environmental achievement in Europe, the 2002 Goldman Environmental Prize is awarded to Jadwiga Lopata of Stryszów, Poland.